everyone. We put this video together to help other people with their project of staining their log home. We just did our staining yesterday and learned a lot from the process. We just built our home a year ago in October, and now it's September, and so we finally got around to the big project of staining. Our home is a 24 by 28 foot ground floor space, and the peak of our home is 28 feet high, to give you an idea of comparing to what your home might be. The supplies that we use, the basis of this video, a lot of it is to spray versus brush. Definitely the sprayer, or spray versus brush. Definitely the sprayer. When we got into the project, we couldn't believe how difficult it would be to use a brush. So definitely a sprayer. We used a Wagner brand staining sprayer. We would recommend using a sprayer that's specifically for staining and not a combination of staining and painting. We spent about $60 on it. And just to let you know, the sprayer needs to be cleaned in between each use. And it takes about 20 minutes to thoroughly clean the sprayer when you're finished. So it's just cleaning up the equipment is a process in itself. And another little tip, we used a trash can with a upside down lid as a little portable table in order to clean the sprayer and equipment, because it's kind of messy. Another supplies that you need is a funnel that fits right into the can. I'm not sure what the size of that is, but something that will fit right into the stain can. And let's see, old towel and some paper towels. Also, we used a modified laundry detergent container as a little, like a bath, to clean the staining container. And I think the supplier of the construction people from our log home recommend that we use mineral spirits, but we think that paint thinner is actually a better product to use to clean your spraying materials. Let's see, what else? Oh, another thing, taping off the windows. Don't try to use newspaper, use poster board. Spend a little extra money on several sheets of it. You'll find it so much easier. Once you get into the job, it's tiring. It's tiring, and we found that these ways will help conserve your energy in the process. So poster board for taping off the windows, painter's tape, and then staging. We rented our staging from a local company. As I said, we have 28 foot high peak of our house, so we rented 3 tiers for the staging. We only rented 2 planks, but we recommend 4. So that at the end of the project, when you're really tired and it's time to take all the staging down, you're not ending up like us, like the Flying Lombardo's circus act up there trying to take everything down. So 3 tiers and 4 planks for the staging. Also, we also recommend spend the extra $15 or $20 for the top level railings. When you're renting it and before the project, you're going to think, oh no, I don't want to spend the extra $15 on the railings. But let me tell you, when you're up there, you'll wish that you spent the $15 for the safety. My husband was terrified up there. And the other supplies would be, not really supply, but you want to have a few warm days before you do your project. And remember, in order for it to be warm and dry, think about the timing when you do your stain and what side of the house you're going to start on to stain, because dry, warm days means you're working out in the broiling heat and it gets hot, and that actually takes a lot of your energy trying to work in the heat. So we suggest that you set up your staging, start early in the morning and on the side of the house that's the sunniest, and get that done first, so that when you're tired later on in the day, you can move the staging over to the side of the house that's shaded. It's going to be a lot easier. Another supplies you might want is Advil. You'll need that afterwards. If you're planning on doing this yourself, it's a workout. You're going to be tired. So before starting to stain, the wood needs to be seasoned. So about a year or so after the house is built, to let the wood dry out. During your build, it's the owner's choice about whether or not you want to pay the builder to actually sand on the outside of your house. And if so, you want to make sure that you clarify that the builder will be sanding the entire exterior rather than just areas where there's nail holes or there were wood filler spots put in. We didn't do that. We did a lot to try to save money and do some of the work ourselves. So we did not have the house sanded, only spots where there were some nail holes or wood filler. So what we did, I just took a broom and swept down the sides of the exterior, got rid of some dust, lots of daddy long legs and spider webs and stuff like that. Also, you want to look at the actual color sample of the stain that you're going to be using and make sure that the samples that you see are applied to the actual wood that you have, because pine or cedar is going to look different in color than what a sample, little cardboard sample shows up. The stain that we have is natural. The stain color is natural oak, and our wood is, I don't know, what kind of wood do we have here? Pine. We have pine. Pine wood, and our stain color is actually called natural oak, but this is actually pretty dark. It's a lot darker than what we thought it would be, but we love it. It looks great. But you want to make sure you're seeing your sample on the actual type of wood that you're going to be applying it to. You'll also want to do all the prep work the day before, because it's actually a lot of work, and trust us, the day of the actual stain, it's a lot. So if you can get all your prep work done the day before, that's going to help out a lot. Taping everything off, moving stuff out of the way, covering stuff over that you don't want the stain to get to. Oh, move your vehicles way, way out of the way. We moved our vehicles kind of away from the house, but yet still we got a little bit of stain, little mist of stain spray on our windshields. So you'll be surprised how far the spray travels. So move your vehicles and anything way, way out of the way before you start staining. Especially if you're renting your staging, everything takes twice as long as what you think it's going to. So if the staging people are planning on picking up your stuff at 4 o'clock, you don't want to have eaten up your time in the morning with the prep work. Let's see. Oh, and a big key is to conserve your energy and make the job a whole lot easier is making sure that you stay out of the heat. You have to have a dry, warm day in order to sand, but in trying to be up on staging and staining in the heat is really hard. So what we suggest is set up your staging on the side of the house that's going to get the most sun the soonest, or vice versa, and time it so that you can get your job done on that side when it's not so sunny. And plus that, do the hardest part first, because towards the end of the day you're going to be really tired, and it makes it so much easier and safer. Safety is a big thing too. Let's see. And during the staining, one person's up on the staging doing the staining, and at least one person really should be on the ground, not only to pass things back and forth, but just to watch out for safety. Make sure that the cord isn't going to get in the way for the person staining to trip, and make sure, always be checking to make sure the connections are always in place so that nobody gets hurt. And then at the end of the stain, when it's time to take everything down, this is where it's important to have 4 planks instead of just 2, because again, you're tired, and having those 2 extra planks in order to stand on, not only for stability for yourself when you're taking the staging down, but also it helps hold the thing together when you're doing so. It's nerve-wracking when it's rickety and shaking. And then the last part of the job is cleaning up the sprayer. Like I mentioned before, we just used a trash can and flipped the lid upside down, and so it made like a nice little portable table that we could use in order to clean the sprayer. That saves a lot of time too. So that's how far we got. We still have to stain the deck area, and when I figure out how to upload some pictures, I'll do that, or maybe I'll make a second video as I'll bet you that when we do the deck part of it, we'll come up with some more tips that will help you. I put this video together because my hygienist was telling me that her sister had just bought a log home and they were wondering about staining, and at first I thought, oh well, I'll just type her an email, and then I thought, no, that will be too long, and then I thought, well, if I were talking on the phone, and telling her how to do it, I might as well just make a video, and I think it would help a lot of other people too. So we'll be staining the deck next week, and so I'll have part 2 for you. Have a great day.